Today I'll be showing you how to paint a TV unit. The same method and technique can be applied whether you are using the product on a larger surface, like for instance kitchen cupboard doors, or painting wall tiles. The first step will be to take thinners and a cloth and nicely and properly clean your surface. Once we've cleaned, we'll wait more or less 10 minutes just for the thinners to evaporate naturally, and then we'll start painting. The color that I'm going to use today is Dawn's Wash. I give my bottle a quick shake to make sure that the products and ingredients inside are nicely mixed together. You don't need to add water or work with a wet brush. You will see the consistency of the paint is nice, creamy and smooth, and you can just start painting. So now our first coat is complete. We'll wait 20 minutes for this coat to dry before we start applying our second and final coat. Next, I'll be showing you how to paint larger flat surfaces using both a paintbrush and a foam roller. I like to combine the two to get a nice even finish on your surface and to prevent the foam roller from sucking up most of your product. So what you do, first step is to dampen your foam roller with some water and remove any excess water. Next, I'll be painting my flat surface with a paintbrush, and while the paint is still wet, I'll use my foam roller very lightly, just remove any faint bristle marks that might be left behind on the surface. And we'll wait for this now to dry before we start applying our second coat. I'll now start applying my second coat. While we wait for this section of the door to dry, I'll start with this side and show you how to add the technique that was done over here, step by step. What I'm going to use is a paint in a contrasting color. So the best way to do a washed technique is to always work with contrast. So I've selected Sheriff Stone, which is a very dark grey, to do the inserts and to add a final finish wash touch to my item. And very important, when we do a washed finish, we always make sure that we work with a damp cloth. Hold it nicely and comfortably in my hand with my pot of paint. So I paint small areas at a time, take my damp cloth and remove some of the paint again to get this washed effect. Okay, so now once I've completed the edges, I'll start with the insides. And I'm almost just like dry brushing these areas. And I start blending. Now I just want to darken the edges of my insert. The final touch on my washed surface will be to dry brush with a bit of Stefan. So when we dry brush, we use very little paint. Make sure it's distributed evenly onto our paintbrush and with very light strokes. I'm now done with this section of the door. We are still waiting for this to dry nicely, Next, I'll be showing you how to do the detail washed effect on the areas over here. I've poured out 3 colors on my color palette. Over here I have Vineyard Stone, Sheriff Stone and Stefan. And I'm going to use these 3 colors to complete my effect. So, first I'm going to start with my Sheriff Stone, which is the darkest color. Next, I'll be taking my damp cloth and I'll just wipe these areas. Next, I'll be adding some Vineyard Stone. And my very last step will be to just dry brush with a Stefan. As a final touch to my furniture piece, I'll be adding some glaze. If you like a matte finish, it's not necessary to apply the glaze, but I would prefer a subtle satin finish to my room. When applying the glaze, you work with a damp cloth, and then I'll also be diluting my clear glaze to make it easier to apply. I have added 30 milliliters of water to my jar. Next, I'll be adding 100 milliliters of glaze. Next, I'll be dipping my cloth in the glaze. I fold the cloth like a ball in my hand and I wipe my glaze onto my painted item. And the glazing process is completed. I'll be adding doorknobs to my TV unit as a final touch to ensure that it's a beautiful showpiece in the room.
Visit thehomechannel.co.za for a full list of Tjhoko Paint workshops and more. For stockist opportunities, email Nadine at tjokopaint.co.za. Happy painting!